Mema atiefo ni na akwa baba eba odin hu TV so na mesrɛw se enedi na hwe odin hu TV a de obeya na so be subscribe to our channel na wa like video na wa share video we na odo onsa abo aye adoma na eda hye ono sine be ya insimra ibetu dwa bia onsa be kan bi na wa hwe bi aye Wontumi chi ya chi na tese atiefo amanfo bibiri na ere bodewuru efa amanfo bibiri na di fon amanfo bibiri na keka kansem fa ho amanfo bibiri na so de ka no kore se ho asem nim nso na ene de die ye former vice president Dr. Mahama Bawumia one Kwadwo Oppong Nkrumah ene akabu mamusiki yoko dendenden se omon grante Wontumi Bernard Antwibu siako bill na nsem je se koba ne se nsem na kasa de omonfa na se kire embe top ontin se fa galamsi no hu nsem ye efafa ho de a je se ene de shiki yoko no ano din yi pa enti ya jibre ne akotie nsem ntwemu na embassy a mpipia so nyabre ehwe
are trampled upon, and we establish a culture of trampling upon those rights. Tomorrow your rights could be trampled upon too. Here's a person who had been invited by the police CID, had attended, had been granted bail, and was participating in a police CID investigation. And when he was discharged for the day to return the following day, then you had this rumble style. I watched the video of one journalist who was reporting about how the arrest took place and how Mr. Wontumi was physically assaulted by the people who arrested him. Here's somebody who's not a flight risk in any way, somebody who's already cooperating with investigative bodies. And then you have this Rambo style pickup and then an attempt to keep him in the cooler and deny him bail for a number of days. Everybody understands what is going on. And you know, I'll end with this. Sometimes when parties win power with an overwhelming majority, there's so much goodwill that you feel you can get away with everything. Remember, the NPP had over like 1 million votes unprecedented in 2016.
800,000.
Yeah. And, you know, sometimes you think there's so much goodwill you can get away with anything. Posterity will judge it all. Right. This is something, there was no basis for going to pick him up and keep him in the cooler for somebody who was already cooperating with the police process and was reporting every day to the police station. How did he become a flight risk all of a sudden? It is clear that what the administration wants to do is to use the coercive efforts of the state to cow its political opponents into submission. In any case, like his lawyers are saying, the matter apparently is a civil matter, not a criminal matter.
Right.
And we do this, we will all be here in good time to see how it pans out.
You've sidestepped my question on Lateef Idris and his assault.
What was that question specifically?
Oh, on the Wontumi issue, and then there was a call for people to mass up, and then Lateef Idris, who was being, you know, he was reporting on the matter. He was assaulted by some NPP stalwarts. Did you see the video?
No, I haven't. I've seen a police statement that says that they are going to investigate it. I'm hopeful that the police will investigate it and will be able to establish what exactly transpired and the persons responsible for it brought to book. Remember, when I was information minister, I will even be the one to draw the attention of the police that supporters of my party have done something untoward in the media house and that they should be arrested and dealt with. So I will not support any such thing. The police investigation will need to be properly done. And then if persons are found to have indeed done that, those persons brought to book. Quite recently, the minority leader was in a demonstration and was assaulted by the police. When the police called for an investigation, do you know the status of that investigation? They have now found out after reviewing video evidence the kind of assault that took place, but they are being quiet on it. And it is important that we follow that up as well and then bring it to the fore. So the police should do the investigation. Who they find culpable, regardless of whose ox is good, let him face the law.
Important point you make. That's how we cap it off. But what I will say is that if indeed there is some footage like that, I think it would be up to you, members of parliament, including the minority leader, to let us see that footage. Because all we saw was his purported assault on a certain police officer.
I am happy to mention this.
So maybe it would be in the good interest of Parliament to put this other side out.
During the police investigation, the police PR department with its own cameras there has the footage which has been reviewed. We are waiting humbly that they will finish the investigation and bring it all out. It is in their custody. We are waiting for them to bring it. I mean, I think for her, she's got to fight for her rights in the ongoing process. But I think any honest person knows that what is going on is politics and not law. Anybody who says that this is Article 146, 147, is either complicit in it or is being naive. Everybody knows that what is going on is politics. This was premeditated. This was pre-announced. This was pre-advertised. There are clips of, now President Mahama announcing that they have a plan to appoint more NDC persons onto the benches. They announced quite clearly that they were of the view that the benches were not favorable to them. They bastardized, the Chief Justice and the Supreme Court extensively when they were in opposition. I was part of our legal team when we were going through the last election petition. You see all the spurious remarks that are made about her on social media, calling her all sorts of names and trying very hard to link her to the MPP. And so the intention was clear ab initio. If that had not been the case, then people could actually believe that there is some innocuous constitutional process going on.
But that same constitutional provision has been used. Yes, please.
If I just may, what is going on is a pre-advertised, pre-orchestrated, pre-planned exercise, now using the legal processes as a cover. And I don't think anybody is fooled by that. But what I'll say to that is that the consequences of our actions lie ahead of us.
Speaking of which, Mahama Yariga, the majority leader, has spoken about some actions that could take place to streamline further the removal of a Chief Justice. But if I am to take the point you make that this could be, and I'm not using your words here, frivolous, maybe something that is wishy-washy and is being perpetrated with the simple aim of getting the CJ out, my curiosity then lies with the courts, the apex court. Yesterday she was in front of her own colleagues, and the petition as submitted by Godfrey Adame was lost. It was unanimous. The losses at the apex court, would it in any way reflect the law, or is it that there too we are not seeing certain things?
So let me start from what my very good friend and the respected majority leader Mahama Yariga admitted to yesterday, that they intend to bring rules to Parliament to provide for what they are already doing. And I think it is an admission, it's a naked admission, that though the courts struck down the initial application that what is going on is unconstitutional because the rules or the subsidiary legislation around the exercise of this discretionary power are not in place, they are admitting that actually that is the case. And that is why they are now coming to prefer rules to try to do what they have already done. Because, for example, that prima facie determination has already been done. So what they are doing is an admission that that application held a lot of substance in it. I have said that the consequences of actions that we are all taking, they lie ahead of us. And posterity will judge all of us for the actions and the inactions and the decisions that are being made today and are being justified in what. Sometimes when I watch some of our colleagues on TV, going on and on and on, convicting her in the court of public opinion, when even her application to supplement her affidavit is being thrown out on the grounds that it discloses information that should not come out. And you have senior government officials sitting on television purportedly giving details which should not come out. You can see the double standards in it. And you can see the premeditated exercise at play. And that's why I've said anybody who is pretending that this is just an operation of Article 146 or 147, in my respected and humble opinion, is either complicit or is being naive in this, because everybody knows what
is your side also being political? Then some have suggested that your support and Godfrey Adame representing her. In fact, I don't know whether it's Justice Tanko yesterday making mention of the fact, reminding the former AG that he had heard him on radio, talking about some of the vexed matters that are in court, and the former AG now saying that he was on our network and someone misled him and he said certain things. I don't know what your thinking is on that. But maybe we should then just segue into the Wontumi case, which is where we're going to wrap it up. He was picked up and the processes in between I believe it's the African Bank and money involved. Then there's also illegal mining and all that. And I want you to tie to it the issue of Latif Idris, a colleague of ours who was manhandled by some members of the NPP. How do you see that composite of matters? What's your reaction to it?
Let me land on the Chief Justice's matter. And you were asking about what therefore do we make of members of the NPP who have, expressed concerns. And
in other words, if it's political on the side of the NDC, is it political on the side of the NPP as well?
Yes, and that's what I want to react to. You see, this sort of double standards that sometimes we want to run in this country.
Could you please clarify who wants to run?
All of us.
Okay. All right.
Run in this country. I think it's